Thanks, Kara, and thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to go over essentially what a lot of my customers see as sort of the big changes in CLM version 6.0, but there are a whole lot of other changes. So if you're interested in getting the full list, it's available out on jazz.net. But for now, these are basically the topics I'm going to cover. I'm going to get into the quick planner in RTC to see how that can help and you know, speed up adoption, so to speak, of RTC. The new diagram editor in Doors Next Generation, I'll cover that as well. The report builder functionality, which is really the new name for the Jazz reporting service. And then also talk about global configurations, which is really the biggest change in CLM 6.0. So that's really what we're going to be covering today. And then I'm going to save a lot of time at the end for demonstrations and then also questions. So as Kara said, be sure to type your questions in so that Kara can go over them at the end. So I'm going to start talking about Quick Planner. Quick Planner was actually something that was introduced a couple of releases ago as a tech preview, but it's really generally available now and just part of the system. So Quick Planner can really help you quickly query based on common criteria. So more than just my work or open and assigned to me, you can look through and find the incoming work, backlogs, look at your iteration plans or your team's work, and really go through and filter based on meaningful criteria that everyone understands. You can also very easily get into a story or an epic for that matter and create child items. So one of the common complaints that I've had from people is whenever I'm doing sprint planning, I have 10 stories and each story needs 5 people to touch it. So I have to create 5 tasks for these 6 stories, and it just takes it takes a few minutes to create those 30 work items. Well, this text-based creation that you can see there, and I'll go over in the demo, really just makes it a lot easier to do. You can use the buttons to sort of create your first set of text, copy that, paste it, and just reassign to different people or create different titles for all of your child tasks. In addition to that, one of the things that has confused at least a couple of my customers is they're used to the RTC planning where it aggregates hours and does plan validation and other things like that. And the Quick Planner does not do those things. It's really just a different way to query and view the information that makes sense to a lot of people who aren't used to the RTC way of doing it. There is also a great article out on Jazz Hub about if you go into the tracking and planning of the docs there on Jazz Hub, it gives you a ton of information about how to use the Quick Planner to take advantage of the functionality here. In addition to Quick Planner, when we move over to the DNG or the Doors Next Gen side of things, there's also the diagram editor. For those of you who've used Doors Next or the requirements composer before that, you know the diagram editor was always a little slow to load, a little hard to use. It always just felt clunky. So the new diagram editor is now installed as part of the tool. There's no extra plugin or extra installation to get the plugin to work or anything really else. It just is part of the tool. It's much easier to learn, easier to use, and it's much faster, better performance. In addition to that, it lets you link specific model elements to other artifacts. So you can see here I've linked use case 1 to the diagram of the